I'm David. Thank you for joining me in this how to play video of Azul. If you haven't had a chance yet, please check out our review video and playthrough of Azul. Azul is part of our project to do videos in the top 100 family games as rated by Board Game Geek users. Behind me is a sample of the top 20 of the top 100 family games. As of September 2019, Azul is currently number 2. So normally I put the box back here, but for this game we're going to need to put the tiles we use into the box top. So here you see a setup for 2 players. You use 5 factory floors. You would have 7 for 3 players and 9 for 4 players. And they would be spread out a lot better than that. Here is the start token. And the object of Azul is to score the most points before the game, and the game will end because it has you don't know when it's going to end exactly, but it probably will end in about 5 to 8 turns. And what you'll have, each player will have a board here. This is, we're tiling the wall of a palace in Portugal for the king. So when one horizontal row is filled in by either player, here's my board and here's Julie's board. If one horizontal row is filled in, then that will be the last round. So that can sometimes take only 5 turns, or it could take, like I said, maybe up to 8 turns, but that's rare when that happens. All right, so we prepare the factory floors here by drawing 4 tiles per factory floor. Just draw it randomly out of the bag. And you'll see that there are 5 colors. So right now I'm just going over setup, and I'll go over how to score points here in a moment. So this is a tile drafting game, similar to drafting cards, but instead it's tiles. So on a player's turn, so that's the setup, we have 4 tiles per factory floor. The starting player tile here in the middle. And each player has their board with their scoring cube here. You got to be careful not to move this as you're playing the game. And by the way, on the back is a more difficult side. We're playing the, so to speak, pre-slugged side here. So the person that goes first, according to the rules, is the last person who visited Portugal. It doesn't tell you what you do if no one's visited Portugal, so I guess you just determine it randomly. What we like to do, if there's 2 players, I'll have 1 or 2 in my hand, and I'll ask Julie how many in my hand. If she said 2, she would go first. If I had 2 in my hand, if I only had 1, and she guessed 2, then I would go first. So the basic action of the game is you select tiles of one type. So here are my options here. I could take these 3 right here off the factory floor. This is the factory offering. That's the first step. And I'll show you here real quick. The gameplay is really simple. So here we have the factory offer. You decide what tiles you're going to take. Then you, after all the tiles have been taken from the factory floors, then you will do the wall tiling phase, and then you'll prepare for the next round. And again, you won't have a next round if one row is completely filled in by either player. So whatever tile I decide to take, I must take all of them off that factory floor. I could just take this one blue, for instance, and then they get pushed into the middle. And let's say Julie takes these 2. These get pushed into the middle. And then on my turn, I could take anything off these factory floors or from the center. So I could take these 3 black, for instance, but then the first player to do that gets to start tile. Now the disadvantage of doing that is that it must drop down here to your floor line. Any tiles that drop down here will be worth minus points. So let's say I had some of these down here. At the end of the round, I'd have -2, 4, -6 points, and my score track would go backwards. But you can't go below 0. As far as I know, you can't. So let me set it back up again here. Let me go over real quick how you score points and how you have to place tiles. Why would I want these 3, for instance? Because you're filling in the wall. and some parts of the wall require more tiles than others. The top part here, I could put these three here, fill in the one square, and these two would fall off onto the floor. Not a good move because I'd have minus 2 points. I could put it here and one would fall off. But here is the ideal spot because I fill it in completely, and after all tiles have been grabbed, during the wall tiling phase, I would slide one over, and then these two would go into the box top. In other words, I use these three tiles to tile just this one spot. And then these would go into the box right here at the end of the wall tiling phase. Now I could also put them right here, but then I would need one more to fill it in, and down here I need 5, I need 2 more. And so if you look at the counter mix here for this first round, there's plenty left, if Julie doesn't take any of them, for me to fill in the 5 space down below. But if I was worried about her taking some of those, I could put it here, and I'd for sure be able to place this for points. So let's talk about how you get points. So let's say I had a situation like this. This would be a very good turn for me if I actually was able to do that. So it's end of the round. Julie took the other ones. I'll show you what she has. Again, I'll do a sample here in a minute. Say she was fortunate enough to do a situation like this. But she had some left over. She couldn't fill in everything all the way. I'll explain what happens on her turn. But I was fortunate enough to fill in everything I needed exactly. So this comes right here. It slides over. Nothing goes into the box lid because there's only one tile, and one tile slides over. So that would be worth 1 point. You check around to see if there's anything touching that tile vertically and horizontally. Nothing's touching it, so I just get 1 point. This goes here. That's 1 point. This goes into the box lid. This goes here for 1 point. This goes here for 2 points because it's touching another tile. So it'd be 1, 2. So I was able to get 5 points that round. However, let's say I did take something from the center and I did get the first player marker. I'd go back 1 space. So this would go back in the center. All the tiles that I used to place on the wall would go in the into the box top. And the reason why they have you do this is so that you prevents players from counting the tiles that are left, because there's only so much of each color in the bag. We like to play where you get to see what's available. But the rules say you put it in the box top. So going back to scoring here though, let's say on a future turn, I place another one here. That'd still be worth 2 points. And then I get a red here. Well, now I count again the vertical and the horizontal would be worth 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I were even to do more of that, this one slides over. That's worth 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Well, first off, you got to go from top to bottom. So let me go backwards. Imagine that this is filled in with 4 more here and 1 more here. This slides over first because you go from top to bottom. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this slides over and I have 5. So you also get bonus points. So you want to complete, it only occurs at the very end of the game. So here I completed a vertical column. The game doesn't end when you complete a column. It only ends when you complete a row. But at the end of the game, this would be worth 7 bonus points. So let me show you the bonus points. See if I can get it in the camera here without hitting the... All right, so here we go. If you complete a column, each column you complete is worth 7 points. Each row you complete is worth 2. If you get 5 of a kind, meaning that you filled in, I can do it here with the simulated here with the blue. Let's say during the course of the game I'm able to fill in all these light blues. That's worth 10 victory points. Now, one thing that can be a danger is that once a tile is in that row, you cannot fill it in again. So let me explain. So I'd say I did have all these blue filled in. I don't know how that would happen ahead of time without the other things, but let's say I was able to do it. I could not put that here because it's already filled in. If I did that by mistake, these would drop down when it comes time to score. And say I messed up, didn't realize that I already filled it in because I wasn't paying attention. When it comes time to the wall tiling phase, these drop down, and now that's worth -2. And let's say I already had, this is later on in the game, I already had some that dropped down. Wow, that would be really hard on me. I'd get -8 points if I wasn't paying attention. Now imagine a situation like this where I wasn't paying attention, and I had 5 down here, and I forgot I already tiled it in. All 5 would drop down, and I'd lose a lot of points. Now, you don't go over this, so if you ever get a situation where you have a lot of tiles that drop off, it doesn't go beyond that space. So that's one advantage of that. So you want to try to get bonus points by having columns completed and rows completed and 5s of a kind. So now I'm going to do a quick little turn sequence here, just to make sure that I explained how you draft tiles, because I went over scoring, how you do the wall tiling phase, and how you got to be careful that things don't drop down. All right, so say Julie goes first. It's rare when you have this many appear. I mean, sometimes you'll get 4 on a factory floor, but that's very rare as well. She's going to take these 3. The dark blue goes in the center. She has a choice now. Again, if she really wanted to, she could put it up here and drop one down, but that's not going to be worth doing. Now she sees there's enough white blue left. She's going to try to go for a 5 here. So she's going to put these 3 down here. All right, so then it's my turn. Okay, there's a lot of red. I could try to fill in a 4. It's going to take me 2 turns to do it, so I'm going to put it here. Now Julie goes. She's thinking, all right, I really want to go first next turn. I'm going to take this. Well, you know what? She's going to add 1 into here first. She's going to take these 2 black, and hopefully she's thinking that I won't take it, because remember, she wants to try to fill in that 5. So she's going to take the 2 black and slide the other ones into the middle. She goes here. She's not going to try to get more black. She's just going to try to complete that one right now and put those 2 right there. So now I'm thinking, oh, I see what she's doing. She's going for that light blue. But you know what? I'm more concerned about getting my red. And so I'm going to mess up by adding a light blue to it, by sliding these in and taking my 2 red. Now, why does that mess her up? So now I have enough here to fill this part of the wall in at the end of the current round. Now, how does this mess up Julie? Well, because she only needed 2 light blue. By me putting another one in there now, she's going to have to take all 3. And she's going to do it because it's early in the game, and she'd rather get this 5 completed. So that first player marker drops down there. She will go first next turn. And because she can't add a 6th tile there, this drops down. Now, you can't, she took these 3. You can't split them up. You can't put 2 here and 1 up here. They all have to go on the same line. So that drops down. All right, so I'm going to look at my board here, because for scoring opportunities, can I get 3 black here, or 2 light blue, or 1 blue here, or some yellow here? And again, I'm thinking ahead of what column, trying to complete this column as soon as possible. There's plenty of rounds I can complete it later, but it doesn't look like there's enough black or enough yellow. So instead, I'm just going to take these 2 blue and add it here to make sure I can fill that part in. All right, so Julie goes. She's looking here. She's got a black going all the way over here and a light blue going here. Can she get enough yellow? There's only 2 yellow. She can try to get some red. There's not enough red. So she's just going to take a blue. She'll take this blue, slide this down. So she takes a 1 blue. She adds it up here. All right, so then I go, all right, I got 2. I'll take this black. So that way I can for sure fill in, slide this over. So now, Julie is going to take the 2, well, she can take the 2 yellow or the 2 red. Either way, she's not going to be able to complete it this round. She's going to have these, they'll stick behind for the next round. Something I haven't mentioned. When you have tiles left over from a previous round because you didn't fill in that line all the way, those tiles will remain for the next round. But the danger of that is if you have too many tiles remaining from one round to the next, you can end up not being able to take enough tiles or too many tiles and have them drop to the floor. So you don't want to have too many tiles remaining from one round to the next. So she will take, because she's going for this, she'll put the yellow here because eventually she's going to try to connect this column with this light blue when it slides over. So she'll take the yellow, put them right here. And then that leaves me with the 2 red. So for me, I can either put it here. I'm going to put it here because I don't know if enough red will come in to fill in that 5 later. So the round's over. Now we do the wall tiling phase and we start scoring. So I'll go first. I move the 1 black over. Nothing's touching it vertically or horizontally, so that's 1 point. This blue moves over, that's also 1 point. This stays here because it's not filled in yet. This moves over for 1 point. Remember, I'm going from top to bottom. These come off because they were used to tile the wall, and they go into the box lid, which I forgot I had some in there from the previous demonstration, so let me add that to the bag. Okay, Julie goes. Slides over for 1 point. Slides over for 1 point. Stays because she didn't fill it in. Just slides over for 1 point. And then she goes back 2 points. So she's at 1. And early on in the game, that's not that big of a deal. So that goes back in the middle here. Julie will be going first. So I have 3. Julie has 1, but, oh, I got to slide those off. She's managed to complete a 5, complete one of her in the 5 row, which is hard to do because it takes a lot of tiles to do that. So even though she's down by 2 points, she's ahead of me on completing a 5 row, whereas you see here, I'm not even close to getting one started. So now we go to the next turn. I'll just do one more turn here because you can watch the playthrough and see a complete game. So we add 4 more tiles to each factory floor. Again, if you ever go through the whole bag, which is very possible in a 2-player game and definitely in a 3 or 4-player game, you will go through the use all the tiles in the bag, and then you'll put the tiles that are in the box lid back in the bag and redraw from there. All right, so Julie's going next, and she's thinking, all right, since I already have this light blue down here, do I want to try to get 5 of a kind with the light blue? And she's looking here. There's only 2 light blues. There's plenty of other colors to go for. There's no 3s or 4s, so she's just going to take a light blue. She'll just throw that in the middle, take this, because her strategy is to try to fill in. Notice you cannot put it here because, remember, once you've already filled in that color, you can't use it again in that line. So she's going to put it there because she's going to try to go for 5 of a kind. And then notice it will slide over and she'll get 2 points this round. But she doesn't do that yet. All right, so I go and I need a red. I'm going to make sure I get that. So I'm going to take, I don't want to put these 2 yellow in here and make it too tempting for Julie to get the 3 yellow, because if I do this, she'll probably take the 3 yellow. So I'm going to take it from here and take that 1 red. So I added here. So now I've finished that. I'm going to probably go for, try to get 5 of a kind red. All right, Julie goes. So she's thinking, looking at her board, she'll be filling in this. She needs another yellow here. She better get this now before too many yellow come into the center. So she knows that she's probably going to help me try to get, I could try to go for that 3 black, but no big deal. She's going to get that 1 yellow, so she doesn't have any drop off. If she would have went for the 2 here, one would have dropped off. And she didn't want to put 2 red into the middle here because it would have been 4 red, making it very tempting for me to get. Because that's really the strategy in the game is you want to be able to grab tiles that benefit you and not put too many tiles into the center that helps out the other players, because it's hard to fill in those 4 and 5 rows. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 drafting turns to fill them in. So when you grab things off the factory floor and it ends up being 4 or 5 in the middle, you make it very tempting for the next player to grab that. So it's my turn. I am going to be going for the red. I will actually, I'll take these instead, so I don't have to take. I don't care about going first. I'll put that there. And then now Julie goes, and she's thinking she will take the blue. Go first next turn because she likes going first. She only needs 1 more blue here, and hopefully she's hoping I don't take it. So here I go. I do not want that blue. I will go for the yellow down here. Yeah, I'm going to take that. So I'm going to take the 2 yellow. I know I have some left over. Actually, I'm going to put it here. So I put it right here, and hopefully I get the other 2 yellow. Julie goes. She's going, oh, good. He didn't take that blue. It just gets pushed in. She takes the 1 blue, and she puts it right here. All right, so I go. All right, I'm thinking, good, she didn't take the yellow. I'm going to put that here. So I filled in that 4 as well. Julie's looking. She could use that. She cannot use the black, because she puts the black here, all 3 would drop down because she would make a mistake. She could put the 3 black here and try to get the black next turn, which is what she's going to do. She'll take the 3 black, and then she adds it down here. She'll have to get 2 more next turn. Okay, my turn. I am going for the red. Try to get 5 of a kind, so I'll take the 3 red. Put it here. And then Julie gets the 1 blue left. So for her, she could just drop it down and not commit to it, but she is going to commit to it here, and hopefully she doesn't get stuck with having too many left over, because she has colors left over here and here. All right, so that round is done. We've removed all the tiles. Now we go to here. All right, so I score. All right, there is a tile touching it. That's 2 points. This slides over here. That's worth 1 point. This slides all the way over here. That's 2 points. And then I don't do anything with this because it's not filled. I don't have any minuses. All right, so Julie goes. This slides over. That's 2 points. This remains because it's not filled in. This slides over for 1 point. This goes in the box top. This slides over for 3 points. This goes in the box top. This remains. She goes back 1 point. But she would be first. So let's take a look at the scores. I have 8. I'm going for red, as you can see. Probably try to complete these 2 columns. Julie has 6, not too bad, but she's going first. And she'll be able to put a black here. And she's doing a pretty good job on these 2 columns as well. And she's on her way to getting the light blue 5 of a kind. So you keep on playing until a row is completely filled in. So let me show you what that looks like in case I wasn't clear. So let's say I filled in this, 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 and then on the last turn, I fill this in. The game will score, and then the game will end. So it's a little bit of a race game. Sometimes you'll make decisions where you're thinking, okay, I'm going to try to fill in a row because I know my opponents are really working hard to get 5 of a kind or to complete columns. And so by ending the game early, I'm ruining their plans. So that's what can happen. When a player fills in a row completely, it can disrupt people's plans for something that they were going for. So that is the how to play of Azul. If we really like Azul, we've played it over 300 times. It's our go-to game when we don't feel like playing something else, and it plays very quickly. Since we like it so much, if we get 25 likes, we'll play the other side, which isn't pre-slugged, so you can make mistakes. Because what can happen on the other side is if I fill in 2 here, okay, let's say it was a situation where I already had these reds. I'm trying to set it up just right. Here we go. This is what could frequently happen. So notice in this situation, because you have freedom to where to put things, it also gives you freedom to mess up. So notice I put these 2 here. I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to get my 5 of a kind. Well, the problem is, because I filled in this spot right here with a black, I can't put it here. And if I put it here, I can't put it here. So now, because I messed up and I wasn't paying attention, these drop down during the wall tiling phase, and I can never get 5 of a kind for red because this row can't fit another red because there's already a red down here. So when you play the other side here, it's more difficult because you can mess up.